My music is fashioned from the whole space of modern musical history. Imagining all the music I know, I leave out everything I don't like. Or as Flaubert and Joyce understood it, I try to be everywhere present, yet nowhere visible. Michelangelo in his marble block from the pits of Carrara, smashing through all that holds in bondage the image trapped in the stone. What is this new music of mine about? Yes, program music, but the program is all the music of modern history, how it behaves and what it says and does to those whose spirits are aroused by it. I hold a mirror up to music literature itself and show it selectively through the sensibility and the working method of a thoroughly disciplined but free and fearless craft. I have Robert Rauschenberg's curiosity. What is coming to life here, I ask myself in my studio. I work from behind the mirror I raise to music, selecting I don't even know how, from the vast palette of my own listening experience. Multiplicity, variety, inclusiveness, but it is not personal. I portray music, not me. A portrait set, as it were, as a picture sits in the frame of all the music which is left out. I am afraid of nothing, not even the beautiful, as Rauschenberg has said, and so everything is then really possible. For me, the disciplines of musical compositions, such as melodic writing, knowledge of harmonic principles, form and continuity, etc., exist for the purpose of treating the musical experience as a dramatic medium, dramatic in its theatrical and literary sense. The materials of sustained musical expression are controlled by a sense of the inner narrative associated with the sounds in my mind. However, be sure of this. It is an intrinsic drama in the music itself and not a semi-realistic added-on or quasi-literary programmatic attachment. As Cézanne stood before nature, I stand before life itself while reading the book of music, as Cézanne read the book of the Louvre to gain mastery over the techniques of production, in search of, as he put it, personal expression according to his temperament. I believe with Berlioz that it is a composer's business to write true and beautiful music, music remarkable by its expression, by its melody, by its harmony, by its rhythm, and by its instrumentation. But if you try to establish a doctrine of absolute beauty, I give up. My music speaks through the action and behavior proper to the condition of music itself. Like actors on a stage where nothing is being attempted but to enter the conditions of theater itself. Art as mask and mirror. It was a happy providence to have no personality or style of my own as an artist. Music as richly personal and stylized as Gershwin's, for instance, contains a treasure guarded within a strong fortress which the listener must storm to gain access to. This is true of Arnold Schoenberg as well. However, Stravinsky's music, and perhaps my own, is not personal in this sense. It is approachable easily through its anonymity, since it is stylized by something outside of itself. To create an interesting analogy, perhaps John Coltrane is George Gershwin, and Miles Davis is Igor Stravinsky. I create and refashion my musical past. One might say that my days are measured by the music in my life, and my compositions recount those days. Making art about art, not about oneself. Allowing music to be music and music alone. That is what Stravinsky meant by music means only itself. My aesthetic allows me to live freely. It is my music that wears the mask and not me. Karlheinz Stockhausen and Richard Wagner perfectly exemplify the opposite. The freedom that I preach in my teaching, which I discovered in Berlioz, is achievable because I approach my composing as an actor does a role, and I am the kind of actor that seeks roles that are widely different, very deep, and very varied. I do not seek to merge with my work. I am not my work. I and my work are not one. The mirror. Thus, the listener can enter into the music unobstructed by the composer's baggage. All art is a return to the past. And as a biographer of Miles Davis, Ian Carr once said, Miles Davis's credo, look back, move forward. My explorations operate on an entirely technical level, since the deep things of music, as I understand it, are not expressible in words. Technical, as in not only the chemistry of the acrylics and the science of the hues and the shades, but the metaphysics of pieces of art, standing alone apart from art with a capital A, deploying everything I am able to conjure in search of a freshness that is A, not historical or ideological, or B, not connected to the opinionated distractions about personality, by which I mean here the fingerprint of style. And then finally for this segment, some liner notes that I did for my friend and student, former student Matthew Monticchio's Sonata for Piano, which I called Moved by the Greatness of Others, which is a quote from Rembrandt, from a biography about Rembrandt, I should say. Musical as well as literary criticism, according to Borges, is another branch of imaginative literature, and accordingly on this basis my fanciful impressions follow. For me, music enacts its own intrinsic and untranslatable drama, and speculative comparisons with other music are most often the most revealing. There may be in Matt's sonata no Brahms or Wagner, no Debussy or Ravel, but Beethoven, Elliott Carter, and Ives, and more than a dash of Schoenberg, reflect back from the heroic and tender expressions both playful and solemn, found in these pages. Rembrandt spent a lot of his money collecting art, because he was, as one biographer notes, moved by the greatness of others. An enchantment impresses itself upon me. The flow of ideas, themes, and gesture in the sonata. Poets, 30 or so, are seated in a circle, in homage to one another and to their shared art. They rise one by one to recite. There is a ritual aspect to the presentation of such art, because it aims to uphold and perpetuate the greatness of things other than itself. Matt's sonata points to the greatness of other things, and thereby, as in all such art, finds itself too a little radiant from some of that glory.